Hi everyone and welcome. Today we need a set of dumbbells, optional. If you have two different sizes, that's great. You can toggle back and forth between the two different sizes. However, if you have one, I'm going to teach you a trick to make that lighter set of dumbbells heavier. And if they're too heavy or too light for a set, we're going to go over just how to fix that problem as well too. You will also need a mat if you don't have a carpeted surface or anything like that. So go ahead and join me for our upper body weight workout with dumbbells. Let's get started with our warm-up. We're going to begin with a march. Now, if you are at a higher level, feel free to go ahead and take a jog in place. Always for that low impact version, no bounding, bouncing, or jumping. We're going to keep it low impact. A lot of our warm-up movements are repetitive, but rightfully so. We want to kind of go through, prime all the muscle groups to help prevent injury. So now I want you to take those feet wide. Let's bring heel to booty. And at the same time, I want you to take your arms, bend them to 90, make a loose fist. Now bring up the elbows to shoulder height and back down. Good. So not only are we getting your hamstrings, lower body warmed up and some knee flexion, we're going to warm up the shoulders and upper body as well. Good. 3. Pull it down. 2. And 1. Give me that side to side tap. And now, since we are working primarily upper body today, what I want you to do, take those hands forward, pull them in, push and pull. Why don't you go ahead and give me a shoulder blade squeeze when you pull those elbows back. And all we're doing during this warm-up is getting that blood flowing. Make sure to have those dumbbells handy and ready to roll for our workout. Now let's give me a alternating side jack. So people ask me all the time, what should I use for my size of weights? That is a really hard question for me to ask, is with, you know, all the different movements that we go through. I know it's not financially feasible, but it is always good to have at least two different sizes of weights. Maybe one that's a little bit lighter and one that's a little bit heavier. The reason being is that we have much stronger muscle groups compared to our smaller muscle groups, which are going to need a lighter weight. Let's go ahead back to our march. Roll those shoulders back. And if you have to pick lighter or heavier and you are new to the game, I would suggest lighter to help prevent injuries and to make it so you're not so miserably sore the next day. Roll those shoulders to the front. Good, now warming up the shoulders a little bit more. I want you to hold in place. Soft bend in the knees, arms up, goalie post. Now, a lot of times I see people coming in like this. What I want you to do is also bring in your elbows. Open, close it up. Now, if your shoulders are tight, they're not going to want to come all the way in. Go as far in as you comfortably can and big open up. Good, close it up and open. Now, one more. Hold here, little scarecrow drop. Lead your elbows up, hinge back. Good, down and up. It is so important to get your shoulders warm, all those teeny tiny muscles within the shoulders to help prevent injury. Our shoulders are probably the most fragile portion of our upper body, so we have to make sure that we get them primed and ready. Okay, now let's go ahead, grab our weights, and we are going to get started today. So if you have your heavier and lighter weights, now what I would recommend doing is, if you're unsure of what weight to use, always start with your lighter weight first. Now, if it's too easy, or you feel like you can kick it up a notch, then switch to your heavier weight. So if I'm going through an exercise and maybe it's the second or third round, or you're repeating this one or a different weight workout, and you think, okay, my light one's too easy, but my heavy one is too heavy to finish that set. So here's what I want you to do. After you know that you can do it with the heavier ones, maybe if we're going to 15 repetitions, go somewhere as much as you can with maintaining proper form with your heavy weights. Set those down and finish the set, the repetitions with your lighter weights. That's going to help you progress eventually to using those heavier weights, and you're going to be able to use those for the straight through sets. Okay, so we are going to start with both of your weights today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start through your back movements. So what I want you to do is, this movement can be a little bit harder. I'm going to turn to the side so you can check my form. You don't need to turn to the side. If you have a mirror, that will be great. I want you to put a soft bend in your knees, thinking leaving your knees above your heels. Shift your hips back with a nice flat back. Want to make sure we're not rounded down like this. Back stays flat. Think we're at a nice neutral line. We are going to go into twisting rows. So what I want you to do, take your palms toward me, or toward your knees, sorry, knuckles towards me. As you pull back, shift, squeeze the shoulder blades, twist, return, palms towards you. Palms in, palms towards your knees, good. Thinking squeezing your shoulder blades at the top. I'm going to turn to the side again. Now, if two legs in this position is uncomfortable for your back, take a kickstand to the back. That is going to help take off some of that pressure in your lower back. Now, making sure your tummy stays tight, that's going to also keep that back nice and safe. So we are pulling through your elbows, hands row to hips. I'll show you another thing I see. Sometimes people will bicep curl their weights up, but I want you to kind of scoop the weights back, squeezing through the shoulder blades. Good, pull back and return down. Good, let's get one more in. Now, come up nice and tall. If you picked a heavier weight for that one, let's try and swap it to your lighter weight for now. Sturdy base. We're going to lift the shoulders up to the front, open to the side, and down. Now, this is a difficult movement, so if you need to, here's your modification. You'll come up and then raise to the side, resting each time in between. All right, give me 10. Open, close, lower down. Open and lower down. Good. And 8. Reach those hands toward me. Open it up, close, lower down. You're doing great, guys. Remember that modification. Rest in between. And we have 5 more. 4. 3, 2, last one, and 1. So now we are going to work the biceps. What I want you to do is you're going to stand toward me. We're just going to do a twist and curl, keeping it basic. The basic moves are the best for strength training. So we're going to twist palms up. So think it's fairly similar to what we're doing to the back row, but you're standing up nice and tall, maybe a soft bend in your knees. Slowly control. Now, if you find that your dumbbells are coming up pretty high, like toward your shoulders, elbows sliding forward, don't come up quite as high. So think almost 2/3 of the way. Down nice and slow, control. You wanna make sure we're not swinging the weights up and down. We wanna make sure we really feel it in those biceps. Good. Give me 3, 2, and 1 today. So we are going to keep it circuit style, working through all the different parts of your body, or through the upper body. And then we're going to repeat enough exercises, so hopefully we don't get too bored with it. I am going to have you go down to the floor for this next one. Now, if you have a really hard time getting up and down off the floor, save it until later and do all 3 sets of your triceps. So, single weight, you're gonna sit down. Feet flat on the floor to help take some pressure off your back instead of feet out like this. So now we're gonna come in and you're gonna hold your dumbbell up above your shoulder. Now, we are, instead of going straight back, we are going to look away and bring it to the side of the head, squeezing up for the tricep. So we cross over and squeeze back up. Nice stretch in the elbow. And visualize as you lower down, your tricep stretching out, and then big squeeze of the tricep at the top. Good, one more. And let's switch to the other hand. Now you'll be able to see the angle here. Elbow above the shoulder or slightly back. I'm gonna look away from my weight, down and over, bend in the elbow, squeeze at the top. Good, remember we wanna pick that weight up with the tricep. If you feel like your elbow is having a hard time staying stationary, you can always put your hand here to make sure it doesn't go along with your weight. Squeeze at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Now, let's grab your other dumbbell and we're gonna go into the chest here. So, you could probably do a heavier weight with this one versus the last tricep one that we just did. So we're gonna go into a neutral press. So you're gonna keep your palms facing one another, slight pull out of the elbows, press back up. Allow the elbows to drop. Now, if for some reason you have a bench at home, a coffee table, or a chest that you can do this over, that is perfect because you're gonna get more range of motion with your chest and shoulders. So your elbows will be able to drop a lot lower, but if not, that is perfectly fine. So keeping your forearms vertical. Your wrists are staying over your elbows. What I mean by that is that you're not having your wrists cave in. Think nice and strong, pull all the weights apart, drive up. Good. Elbows go away from the side. 2. And 1. Okay. Round 1 done. We are gonna go through 3 rounds today. So what I want you to keep in mind is if you are newer to these, you're a beginner, or you haven't worked out in a while, I recommend 1 to 2 rounds, see how you feel tomorrow, and then when we set this workup out again, then you can decide if you weren't too bad or you're sore, proceed with your judgment. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna go back to is that back row. So remember, kickstand if you want it, nice flat back, hinge of the hips. Now, go ahead, palms towards your thighs. Let's rotate in, scoop the weights, squeeze the shoulder blades. Good. So remember, your hands aren't really doing anything besides hanging on to your weights here. Pull back, squeeze those shoulder blades. 10, 9, remember weights to hips, don't curl them up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, slowly guide the weights all the way down, 2, and 1. Going into the shoulders. Now, if you have light weights and they're still too heavy, grab some water bottles or soup cans for this one. All right, we have 10 of the shoulder raises, front, side, front, and down. Let's do it. Forward, side, front, and down. Good. There's 2, 3, make sure to use that momentum. 4, 5, 6, 7. You're doing great, guys. 8, last 2, and 1. Okay, you ready for those twisting bicep curls? Let's go ahead, hands by your side, twist and curl up, twist and curl down. Palms toward your chest, palms toward your thighs. Now, the reason why I said not to come up too high, sometimes we think the more the better, but in this case, you'll notice I can almost rest at the top here. Whereas if I come about right there, I can really feel that squeeze in my biceps, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Good, and think pause and hold for a count at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Let's take it back down to the floor. Remember, your single weight, and if you have 2 weights that your set of weights is lighter, you can couple them over, but please be careful that you have a sturdy grip on those. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Feet on the floor, elbow in place, look away, squeeze up, down, squeeze up. So I'm kind of going at an angle, like I'm going up toward my ear. Down and up. Whatever weight that you're using, we want to make sure that it's challenging enough for you. 1 more. Now, if you're switching your weights, please don't do it over your head. Safety first, making sure we do it at least down by the chest. Okay, elbow up above the shoulder, look away, and cross over. Think up and back slightly, feeling the stretch in your triceps right there. Pause and hold, big squeeze from the back of the arm. Good, down and up. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Once again, being careful above the face, let's go to your neutral chest press. Hands up, elbows down and out. Good. 12, 11, 10. And your triceps are going to feel a little fatigued here since we just worked them. There are helper muscles during this movement. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, third round. If you are ready for it, guys, we're gonna take it up. Remember, please take your time. So if I'm going too fast for you with that transition up and down off the floor, you jump back in when you're ready. Okay, last round. Let's start with that back row. I still prefer my kickstand back. Palms towards your knees, palms towards your hips. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And for the shoulders, guys, I'm really starting to feel this, and I just have some light weights. So let's go right into those shoulders. Let's roll it. Remember to rest in between if you need to. Give me 10. Open it up to the front and down. Forward, open. 9, 8. We don't need to go any higher than shoulder height. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Doing good, guys. Come on, last 2, and finish out strong. And 1. Okay, going through with the biceps. Palms in, twist palms up. 12, 11, 10, pause and hold at the bottom, no momentum. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Taking it back down to the floor. Okay, last round here, double or single with your weights. Single if you have a heavier. Okay, elbow up, crossing it over, kind of towards your ear, squeeze up. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Be careful with your switch. Turn away. And 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Grab your matching weight. Last one, and then we're gonna get it stretched out. Okay, arms up. Pull the elbows down, away. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job, guys. We are all done with the weights. So now it is so important to keep mobile, keep it stretched out. So we're gonna stay here actually, and you're gonna take your hands, think elbows and fingertips. We want those to touch. But if they're not happening, you're really tight through the chest and shoulders. Just hold it there as long as you comfortably can. And if this movement's easy for you, I want you to take your arms into a Y and pull the elbows back down along your side. Big roll up and down. Okay, I am going to make my way up and we're gonna finish with a few stretches here. So let's take your hand out in front, reach under, hook it, pull it across. That's gonna help the back of your shoulders, upper back muscles stretch out a little bit. Good, open up and switch. Right there is where we want to feel it. And you know, different things like this are just as important as the actual workout in itself to make sure that we maintain healthy, mobile, and flexible. Now lace up your fingers, flip them towards me, gentle push away, trying to straighten out your arms. Now the next stretch that we're gonna go to is in a chest stretch. So I'm gonna turn my back towards you. You're gonna bring your arm out here. You're gonna put your palm on the wall. And we are going to rotate away and slightly out until you feel that stretch in your chest and shoulders on that side. And we're just gonna hold that for a little bit. Now, stretches should be slightly uncomfortable, but never painful. So that's why we always have to, I say, settle into your stretch nice and slow. Because if we go really fast and hit the stretch, you could possibly injure yourself. So just slowly creep away. And if you get to that point where you feel like you could use a little bit more stretch, then keep on rotating. Other arm, bring it here, turn away. For most people, their chest and shoulders are going to be really tight due to our posture, everyday activities that we do. We do a lot more pushing movements than we do pulling, and that affects our posture as well too. So it is so important to keep our chest and shoulders nice and loosened up. All right, guys, shoulder issues. You're gonna come over like this and hold. Otherwise, bring the arm up and behind and gentle pull back behind the elbow there on the arm. Good, bring it down, other side, up, gentle pull. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. We are all done with our upper body. I look forward to working out with you tomorrow. Thanks, have a great day.